Real quick, I just wanted to say that I know that I said that I would have my final art room transformation video up next, but it took a little longer than expected, so this video is going to be this week. There will be a different one next week that I also think is really cool, and it was really fun for me to film. And then, I promise, after that, the art view transformation will be up, a room tour will be up, and then I will make a video of literally how I did all the designs. So you could do the designs in your room too if you would like to. So, thanks.
Okay, hello y'all. Today is part 2 of the ceiling tile video. So, I don't know if you saw my last video. I talked about the ceiling tiles in my school, and throughout the hallways, the seniors for every year get to decorate them because we are in National Art Honor Society and it's kind of a thing, so you leave your mark on the school. It's a really cool thing. The seniors for 2020 could not do theirs and finish theirs because they weren't allowed back in the building to come get them. So they went on to college, and this year, the rest of the members in National Art Honor Society were allowed to come in and grab the tiles that they wanted to do. I did 2 of them, and this is the second one. So this one was a little bit harder because you'll see there's half of it almost done, like half of it pretty much done, just a few more things needed. And then the bottom half is sketched out, but I couldn't tell what was supposed to be sketched out. I had some ideas, but at the same time, it was really hard for me to figure out which one was which. It didn't go together the way I thought it would. I took a while to get this one done just because I didn't know what to do with it. It was really hard. I've never had to be in a position where half of something was done, a fourth of it was sketched, and I didn't know how to interpret that. I didn't know how to, I don't know what the word is. I didn't know how to, there's a better word, whatever. When you go with some kind of surprise element and it just kind of threw me off. It's like a perfect style of my blending and my painting, which is why I loved to do this painting because it was so cool and it was so in my element. It's not even funny, but it was so hard just sitting there figuring out. So I completely erased the bottom half, started fresh, and put my abilities into it. And I hope you like it. So let's go.
I just want to say, editing this video back now, I did not do this video justice. I did not video as much as I thought I did. This took so much work and it took so long, and I didn't share like half of that in this video. I skipped so many parts. The parts I didn't skip, I didn't do it well. So I'm sorry that this video wasn't great and a lot of the steps were skipped, but that's probably why this video isn't a tutorial. And it's just pretty much seeing how I did it, but even with that, it's not great. So I'm sorry in advance for if I skipped over any parts, and I will let you know if I did. So, like I said, this video, or this, the ceiling tile was already kind of halfway done. I mean, it had a little less than halfway, but the sky was really pretty, some nice clouds, some mountains. Right now I'm just doing like a little river. I think a city landscape was underneath, but I couldn't see it as much, so I literally just decided to do something different. So I did this kind of river. I added the white to have like highlights and lowlights of the little river and show the water streaming. And then I'm going to make this giant lake, and I'm going to add something cool to the lake later, which is why I'm making it so big. I didn't have the same exact colors, so I added the colors I was using into the mountains and into the sky and blended everything together to make it more a little bit my style and to show everything I was doing and to tie it all together to make it look like somebody didn't actually do this a half a year later. So this is what it is right now. You can also see that I wanted to make it blended and make it look snowy, so under the river and before the lake I made it purple, blended it into white, and then I'm just going to put some light white highlights over it so it looks like there's snowy mountains everywhere. Now I'm doing the trees. I'm literally wisping down my brush, literally doing sticks, and then the higher I go up, the smaller I make the trees. Of course, for some perspective, the bigger ones are going to be right next to you. Of course, they all don't have to be like that, because if there's one that is huge and by the mountains, and there's one tiny by the mountains, then obviously you want to show that too. So you're literally just going to like wisp your brush. I don't know how to explain it, especially because this is like a fast version and this is not really a tutorial video for me to try to like teach you. The smaller ones harder or farther away is a little bit easier. I'm sorry I flipped it upside down. I didn't even mean to do that, but I guess that's the way my camera was pointing. You could still see it a little bit though. So now you can't just have trees all around snow with no snow on top of them, so you have to add a little bit of white for highlights for the trees. So I'm going back over now, and like every other branch, you could say, or every other to the side of that branch is going to be white with highlighted. Just because snow doesn't fall on every single branch, it's going to be a little different, and you want it like a little messed up. Not like messed up, but just like a little where it's not, everything's not even, because in life, everything's not even like that. Now is where I'm going to say I skipped probably the most. I definitely re-highlighted the top. I definitely outlined the river that you can see. And I already started my quote. So my quote is, "Be grateful for today and never take anything for granted." I wasn't going to fit all big letters on this thing, so I just decided to do the second half, and this is going to be on the ceiling. I can't do tiny letters. Nobody would be able to read it. So the first half of my quote, "Be grateful for today," and is on the top, and it's outlining the river. So you could still see it because I still did it pretty big, and again, this is a ceiling tile. And then the second half is the never take anything for granted, and that's going to be extra big because I think that's like the overall biggest part of the quote. I'm saying I skipped a bunch of stuff because before I even did any of this, you can see I have tree reflections in the water, and when you look at water, of course, it reflects the trees, and you need to do that before you do your quote, or there's going to be a tree over your quote, and it's very hard to do the quote around the trees. So please, please, please do the tree reflections first. If you don't know how to do it, literally either flip it upside down and do the same exact thing you did for the tree, or do a reverse tree. You could blend it into the water a little bit more. Do one coat so you can kind of see through to the water. I hate this, but being imperfect, doing reflections is what you have to do. Even doing trees, you have to be imperfect, and I hate that. I love when everything's a direct line and straight and even, but that's not what it is for trees. Anyway, after you're done with the reflections, I also, or before I even did the reflections, I actually highlighted the water too. So I think you can kind of see there's like pink and blue and purple stripes in the water as kind of like the tide. And I thought that was really cool because like that's kind of the whole sunset-y theme. And so it shows the tide as well as highlighting and reflecting the sky and the water. So then after that, after all of the highlights, all the snow, all the trees, then you start the quote. If you're writing anything on top of any kind of canvas, I will always say, please use pencil first. I used pencil probably 5 times. I erased it and I had to redo it. It just takes time. I'm watching TV and YouTube and listening to music while I'm painting, because that's my favorite thing to do. So just try again. Then finally, after doing it with a pencil and getting it the way I wanted to for the most part, I went over it in Sharpie so I could see it very good. And then I went over it in paint because I wanted everything to be painted. So, finally on the last leg of painting it, and then I think we are done. Unfortunately, like I said, I was a horrible YouTuber, I guess you can say, when I started this video. A lot of these, like I said, have no lighting, have no mic. This is why the audio probably doesn't sound great right now, because I started filming all of these last winter, even last spring before I started this channel, so I knew it was going to be hard, and to kind of help me when I had days like this or weeks like this where the room took a little longer, I could just put a video in its spot like this. So this was a pre-recorded one, and I skipped over a bunch of parts. I'm sorry. The only other thing that I'm going to say about this, I do not have a after picture, which is kind of my fault, and it's summer, so I can't get into the school to go take one. I guess we're gonna have to imagine what it looks like, unless I somehow magically find one and then put it into this video. It'll be at the end of this clip if I do find one, but it probably won't be in here. But either way, I'm so sorry that you couldn't see the final, but I'm sure if you watched this much, then you can kind of figure out what it would be like, and I will post on Instagram what the final looked like once I finally go back to school and get a picture. Or I'll share it with you guys on here in another video if I can.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really liked that ceiling tile. I was surprised with how much I liked the first one, but if you didn't see that one, go check that one out. That one's really cool. This one's really cool too, especially if you like landscapes and blending. But the quote I wrote on it is very important to me, and I've said that quote forever now, and I love that quote, so be grateful for today and never take anything for granted. I feel like it just kind of goes with everything, and I think people should start living that mojo a little bit more. So be grateful for today and never take anything for granted, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.